Hello guys, Chris here. So I don't know how many of you guys watch the diversity of different kinds of video that I actually make, different kinds of content that I put in the videos, because I'm into a whole bunch of different stuff. So the air gun stuff I started off doing mostly because I had been really consumed by that at the time. And then, machining I've always been into, cars I've always been into, but 3D printers is new for me, but CNC machining is not. So this is very similar, so that's why it really intrigued me. This is the Snapmaker, Snapmaker J1S. So this is an IDEX 3D printer, which I do have a handful of 3D printers if you have been watching that type of content. I always do an honest review when I get them because, I don't get paid for this. They don't send them to me for free. I buy them because it's something I'm intrigued by and something I'm passionate about. Like, for example, I don't know if you guys are watching this video to see about this printer or if you're watching because you watch the 3D printer content. But if you're watching because you watch the 3D printer content, you probably already know. But if you're watching just because of this, I'm going to tell you. So I decided to buy a high temperature printer that was able to print Peak and Ultim and all the ultimate 3D printing materials. And I was looking at a lot of them, and there was some that were, there was one as low as a couple thousand or something like that, and then there was several that were in the 3 to 7 range, and then there was a couple 10 and 15 and 30, and then they go right up to 60 and more. So especially for those temperatures, you can get regular printers in those price ranges that are just extreme, extreme high precision and industrial machines. But for the high temperature, it takes a lot more to make them function properly, as I'm finding out. So the point of saying all this is, I ended up getting a Inis Funmat HT, and it was supposed to be a Funmat HT enhanced, and they sent me the old one. And not only that, but the thing, it has like a Bowden tube setup, between the heat sink and the extruder. It's a Peak tube. In all fairness, that's what they made it out of. But that tube style is for like a $300 Ender 3. It's not for a $7,000 high temperature printer. So I was kind of blown away by that. I think I got like one successful print in PLA out of that printer in like 5 days and 3 of those 5 days I was here till 5 o'clock in the morning working on that printer, trying to get it to print right. And this is with PLA and ABS. I never even tried it with polycarbonate or any of the even remotely higher temperature filaments. So it just goes to show that, you don't always get what you pay for. Luckily, I ended up with the wrong printer anyways, so I was able to return it with no questions asked because they sent me the wrong model. But I would have returned it either way and taken a loss if I had to, but I ended up getting the CreateBot F430. So I got that for a really reasonable price, and it's a good thing I did because I'm gutting it completely. So I'm building a true high temperature printer that comes with a 420C hot end on one of the 2 nozzles, and the other is 280 or something, and the bed is 150, or I think it was 150, and the chamber was 70. But I'm gonna have it at probably 100 in the chamber to 120 which is even higher. The Intamsys was only 90. I'll have it higher than the Intamsys in the chamber, way hotter in the bed. The bed's going to be about 200 to 220, and the Intamsys bed was 160, and the hot end was 450. Mine will be at least 500, and those numbers are easily accomplished with the work that I'm doing to it. If you're interested in seeing, I'm not going to go on too much about that because I'm trying to do a video open the box of this. But the reason I'm bringing all that up is because the price of that printer compared to the Intamsys, and then this printer on top of it, and all the modifications, I still saved money. Because this thing this is a really reasonable priced printer for an IDEX printer. It's my first, and I've always been interested in the IDEX printers, so that's why I went for it. That and the fact that I ended up getting my money back from the other printer, because, you know, I mean, I wasn't planning on that happening, but that's the way it went. And then I ended up getting another. I got that printer for like $3,500 on sale, and it's cost me, you know, I got a new main board, new power supply, everything is heat protected, like heavy gauge heat protected wire wrap with insulation, insulated the whole entire interior chamber, the underneath of the bed. Really, you can watch the video. I'm doing everything. All of the create boards and wiring is gone. That's as of tonight. I just finished doing all that tonight. I'm putting a beacon in it. I'm putting a water-cooled extruder. I put a full water cooling system on every single stepper motor, which there's 5 of now because there's 2 extruders, and then the X, Y, and Z, all LDO high temp super speed motors. I mean, I really went balls to the wall, and really the parts are not expensive. I mean, those motors are like $30-40, and I mean, I bought a bunch of high temperature wiring and the wire shielding for high temperature, and a whole bunch of the stuff I needed to put it all together. And you know, but this is like, it's like a Voron, only there's no transcript, there's no diagrams, there's no schematics, there's no directions, there's no manuals, there's no nothing. You got to figure it all out on your own. And I'm getting stuff from I don't know how many dozens of different companies, and you know, they all have different things, so you really have to figure a lot of stuff out on your own, and it makes it much more of a challenge. Not to mention that you're going for temperatures that most 3D printers cannot and will not ever achieve, because most printers aren't conditioned to be able to handle it, even if you could get it up to that temperature. So I mean, you couldn't even do it if you wanted to, because the printer couldn't handle it. The materials inside the printer couldn't handle it. The electronics, the wiring, the motors, everything, they wouldn't be able to handle it. So I'm building it so that it can handle it. And you know, it's taking some time, and it's taking a lot of effort, a lot of time and a lot of effort because of those other factors I mentioned. But it's worth it to me. It's something I wanted to do, and I definitely don't regret it now that I've started doing it. I mean, would I have spent a couple thousand more or a few thousand more to get a fully finished printer and not have to do all this work? Absolutely, I would have. But I couldn't find one actually, that's not true. I could have spent $15,000, and I could have gotten an IDEX printer that was also a high temperature printer. And I'm thinking of the 22 IDEX from Vision Miner. And I don't know if any of you guys have tried their adhesive, their bed adhesive. Dude, it's the best stuff. I've been doing a lot of 3D printing, and I haven't used anything else that doesn't leave any kind of residue like glue does on your bed. And it like when the part comes out, it's stuck on there. You have to bend the plate to get it off. If it's on glass, you got to scrape it off. And that's just with PLA, ABS, polycarbonate. It's all of them really, but the high temperature stuff too. But they stick like nothing. I've never seen anything else make them stick like that. And I've tried all the highest recommended glue, hairspray, all that kind of stuff, and you know, even like other bed adhesives that are you know, on the expensive side. I mean, that stuff's pretty expensive, but it goes a long way. That bottle for $50, or that it was on sale for $50, goes a really. I'm on my third bottle, and I haven't even finished one of them, but I bought 2 more because it's that good. Like, I don't want to print with anything else, because I don't want the bed to be a mess afterwards, and you know, and I don't want to have a print not stick in the middle, and then when it doesn't, you have to you know, deal with all the messed up prints, and just the cost of that. I mean, $150, I'll probably have that stuff for years to come, probably a year or 2, really. I mean, the bottles are pretty big, they go a long way. Where's one of the bottles? I'll show you. Right here. So this is the one I got. This is the oldest one I got, and that's the one I've used the most of. I don't know if you can see how much is in there, but it's like, I don't know, 80% full. And that I've used more out of this one than any of the others. I only opened 2 of them, so there's only 1 more open, and it's almost full. So anyways, but this video is about the Snapmaker. So I saw only not many videos about this online, about this printer. I'm gonna just unbox it and show you what's here, and I'll probably turn it on real quick, but it's getting really late because I was working really hard on that printer tonight, and I'm gonna get home and get some sleep. But tomorrow when I get in, I'll do another short clip, and I'll show you guys, you know, having it printing with you know, it's an IDEX printer, so I'll have it printing in dual printing, mirror mode, or whatever, or duplicate mode rather. Okay, so this is just a quick guide that shows you what to remove to get your stuff out. Remove the top panel, remove the protection near the back panel. Okay, let me take this tape off. There we go. Okay. And that's pretty cool, the whole top comes off. It's all aluminum. It's nice. This is nice. Honestly, this not even, it's like 6 months ago, or 6 months, maybe it was like almost a year. I don't know how much warranty I have left. The QIDI printer was about the price of this back then. Right now, I know it's like $850, but it was like $1,100 or something like that when I bought it. And this is right around that price. So I could have gotten an IDEX printer that probably, let's hope, doesn't have nearly as many problems as the QIDI did. Don't get me wrong, their customer support did jump in at the end after, not at the end, like I had one time where I couldn't get a hold of them. After that, they were amazing. So I can't say anything, you know, bad about their customer support. But what I can say is, if I could have gotten a printer like this rather than that, I would have. But this wasn't out at that time, so it is what it is. But I'm not going to just keep buying printers. I'll find another. Once I finish building the other one, and I was intrigued by the IDEX thing, so now at least I have one. I just didn't want to spend 15 grand. I couldn't really justify it because, you know, I do make some money with these printers, but not enough to justify a $15,000 printer. Not enough to justify. If I really wanted it, I would have bought it, but I just didn't feel like there was enough cause for me to actually justify it to myself. But anyways, so that's why I didn't buy it. But I'm happy I got to talk to the guys at Vision Miner, because they really seem like they know what they're doing. And I kind of, part of me wishes I did buy it, but I didn't. So. But I have a feeling that when my printer's done, I won't be too disappointed about it. You guys will see why when it's finished. It's going to be a sight to see when it's done. Oh, wait a minute, we got a couple of things I got to snip here. Some zip ties. supposed to come out? Let me see. Alright, all the tape comes out. Yeah, they do come out, okay. I was going to say, I don't know how that could stay in. They have these things on the belts that, if they stayed in, I don't know how the hell the belts would move. Wow, they're really on there. Those belts are not moving in transport. They go sit right in the grooves and they hold the belts from moving. That's a first to see it done that way. And wow, these are like ribbon cables going to the tool heads, but they're almost like they're aluminum. They really are. They're like metallic, some kind of metallic. I mean, it feels like it's actually some kind of light metal. There we go. Now I can start getting some foam out of here. It's a nice looking printer. It really is. And there's the two separate tool heads. And I believe that these actually go up and down on their own. The nozzles. They move up and down as they're needed. And it does come with two extra tool heads, two extra hot ends, but it's like the whole extruder, it's the assembly. I actually was going to buy another set with hardened steel, but then I thought about it, and I have all these nozzles. I have Diamondback nozzles and Ruby nozzles and all these other kinds of nozzles. So I didn't end up ordering them. And when I found out it came with two more sets of hot ends, and you know, the whole tool head basically, it was kind of pointless because. Well, it comes with another good pair of wire dikes or snips or whatever, as if I don't have enough, but it's good that they put that kind of stuff in there. I have no idea what this is. Oh, it's a flash drive. Jesus, look at that flash drive. That's a flashy flash drive. All the pun intended. So this is the hotbed, so the build plates have to be in here somewhere. I know it's got to come with some kind of a build plate. There's more directions. So the build area is not all that big. It's bigger than the Bamboo, but it's not as big as the QIDI. That's one thing that printer has had on the other printers, and I haven't been able to take away from it. Oh wow, that's nice. Oh, it's a glass build plate. That's awesome. That's awesome, really. I love glass because everything, it sticks to things so much better. I never realized how good the ceramic black glass was. It's so much better than. It's so much better than really most of the build plates. I mean, you can get just about anything to stick to glass. The filaments that won't stick very well, this is the kind of material. This is the kind of thing they probably will stick to, especially with that nanopolymer adhesive. That stuff is amazing. Honestly, I give them a lot of credit for coming up with that because it really was a game changer. I mean, I had never tried it until that first bottle I ordered, and ever since then, I've been blown away by it. I'm really impressed. So it somewhat reminds me of a Bamboo. It's like an IDEX Bamboo almost, but not exactly. But yeah, the hot ends don't really remind me of a Bamboo. A lot different. and some of the other features. Okay, so you pull these I like the way they have the glass bed, actually. It's removable and it's not magnets. It has these built in, and you know, CreateBot, they had I ordered a carbon fiber build plate with it. It didn't come with any way to fasten it down. Nothing like this to clip it. Like, they could have done something simple like that, and that would have been it. But so they advertise it with a glass bed, and then they change it and they don't tell anybody, and they expect you to be okay with it when you get it. And I'm like, dude, I that's one of the main features that I wanted, was the glass build plate, because that's a huge bonus to me. Because here's Allen wrenches and some screws for something, some wire organization, a couple more socks for the hot ends. But that's a huge bonus to me, because I've had experience with glass build plates and a lot of success with it, and with difficult materials like Delrin and really difficult materials. And this is something I had heard they added this in this newer model, the J1S rather than the J1. This is the big exhaust fan. So, actually, that's a cooling fan that's going to blow in. And then this goes. I actually almost ordered this when I thought it wasn't on it, and then I did some reading, and the newer ones do have it, so it comes with it anyway. And I would have had, you know, another one of the same thing. But this just mounts on the back here. It actually has to be plugged in, so I'm gonna wait a minute and figure out where I got to plug it in. It probably plugs in somewhere right near here, but I'll wait a minute and figure that out. And then there's an add-on port in the back, which is a very unique plug. I don't know what that's about. And they give you a couple rolls of filament, some orange PLA, and this is probably not PLA since it's in the silver wrapping. I'm not sure what it is. Probably support material or something. Hopefully it's something better, like ABS or something like that. What the heck is this? A wire brush. That's pretty cool. And some tweezers. These are they're not precision tweezers. They're the rounded end. I have so many tweezers. Anyways, oh shit, where the hell are the other hot ends? It said it came with 2 extra hot ends. I'm looking for them. I don't see them. I don't think I missed them. Well, I know I'm not mistaken, because I actually emailed them about that, because I had almost ordered them, and then I found out that they actually came with another set, but I don't see another set here. Anyways, so that's what comes in the box. I don't know. In the description it said it came with a second set, and I didn't order the extra set because of that, and now I wish I had, because I don't see them. Unless no, they're not in here. I mean, I went through it pretty thoroughly. I don't think I would have missed it. Well, this is just foam, so there's no more in here. But anyways, I mean, it comes with some decent tools. I mean, for the price that this thing is, it's you're not gonna find. I was looking at the Raise 3D. The Raise 3D printer is like it's in the higher range, but it's also in the slower range as far as speed. It's a very slow printer, and I guess that's their philosophy, is like, you know, what's the saying I'm thinking of? The you know, the tortoise and the hare thing. But I don't know how much I believe that these days, because everybody's trying to get everything done quickly, and people want things to be done quickly, and you know, I'm no exception to that, because I'm always multitasking, as you guys that actually watch any number of my videos can tell. I'm always multitasking, like always. So I definitely am a fan of getting things done quicker, because I can get more of them done, because, you know, that's always a good thing to me. Right now I still have to go fix a tire that's leaking on my truck, and and a mirror on my truck, that some tractor trailer hit the mirror of my truck and didn't stop today, which was fun. And then I can go home, and it's like 5 a.m. right now, maybe 4 a.m. I don't know what time it is. I can check, but it doesn't matter anyways. It's late. But I got carried away working on that printer. I'm gonna go home and sleep in, because that's what happens when you own your business. You can do that. I'm gonna go home and probably sleep till 11, and then I'll come back and work the beginning part of the day, and then I will. I'm gonna wrap up that printer probably this week. I think I'm definitely gonna be able to wrap it up this week, like by the weekend. Hopefully sooner. I'm hoping to get it wrapped up on. I'm hoping to get it wrapped up by Friday. I'm hoping to have it printing Friday, or even earlier, because I have got all the wires down, you know, run through, and they're all shielded, everything the way I wanted to do it, and I've gotten a lot of work done on it. Really, it's very close. So I don't see any reason I shouldn't be able to be completely done by the end of the week. And I have the company that I met the guy from that's going to give me a hand with the you know, the finishing part with the firmware and you know, installing Clipper and all that. Is going to be a Clipper. It's going to have everything, nothing from CreateBot left in it. It's going to be really like literally a CJ's Voron, like a homemade Voron, nothing that a Voron that you actually bought and somebody told you how to do everything and gave you directions and all that. It's going to be something you actually did 110% of yourself, or I did, but you guys can too. If you watch the videos, you'll see everything I did, and if you're interested in something really high temperature at a more reasonable price like that, because for $3,500 you can't get a, I mean, that printer wasn't, it might have printed PEEK, but PEEK is such a temperamental material, you're not going to print it well on anything really. Honestly, the cheapest one that I found that I thought was really going to be able to print it was the I'm having a brain fart, Appium, and it was like $30-something thousand. And the reason I thought that it would actually print PEEK well, with what experience I do have, is they use a light source as heat for to create heat, to direct heat directly at the print while it's printing. So it's not, I mean, it's a heated chamber and it's very hot in the chamber, but it doesn't need to be as hot. That's actually what NASA did when they turned, I forget what printers they were, but they were like Ender 3 type printers, and they turned them into PEEK capable printers. NASA engineers did, as you know, to see if they could. And I don't know what the reason to have that challenge was, but they did. And it's just asking me for language and terms and conditions. But they had that challenge, and that's what they did. They used light. It was infrared halogen, or it was. I have to look at the article again. I read the whole thing. Oh, so this is it's Linux based. This is like an Android operating system on the screen. gives you more of an open source feeling than the bamboo, but bamboo is just so damn convenient. It's like it's hard to not like it. And they're so damn dependable. You know, I have an extra extruder for each bamboo, and like 4 hot ends for each one. And some of them are aftermarket. I ended up getting the aftermarket ones. You could change the nozzles. But I haven't had to use any of those parts, and I've been printing with those more than anything. And it's like every time I need something, I can depend on printing it with those. Those are the printers they're my go-to printers for sure. No question about it. Oh, I remember being warned about this and not to be alarmed because it's normal. It's input shaping, or oh no, it's not normal. I missed one of these belt things. They said it was normal, but maybe it's going to do input shaping too. I'm wondering what those things are. It looks like it goes over the nozzle. Maybe it moves. It doesn't look like it would move. Maybe I could be wrong. A print cooling fan. What do you mean a print cooling fan? The cooling fan is just fine. And these are supposed to be like really quick change hot ends. I'm not going to really get that far into it right now. I'm kind of not getting into it very far at all right now. But because it's very late and I have to go do this tire. I fix this tire and get my ass home and get some rest. But I'm gonna come back tomorrow with another clip before I air this, and I'll show you guys how it prints. And it's got a nice this is that I forget what they call it. The black stuff that has it's like a slightly abrasive on the bed, and then the other side is the ceramic glass. And that's the one build plate that it comes with. But obviously the whole thing is ceramic glass. It's just covered on one side with that, and the other side is the bare ceramic glass. Fixed print cooling fan. Tap. Go to install. All right, go to install. You know what is striking me first thing? I don't like the lead screw is just propped up in the air. There's nothing holding it on the top. I don't like that at all. I don't know why that is. That's really, I mean, first of all, that's the setup that they had on, they had this setup on, what's it called? They had this setup on the Tamsis, and it had just the 2 linear rods and lead screw in the back, and that's it. And it actually had same as this, 3 adjustment screws. I don't understand how you level a bed in 3 locations. That doesn't make any sense to me. And I have to get things level all the time. Clear away any external things inside the machine and keep your body away. Tap next and the machine will start humming. Oh, it looks like they actually came with really good Allen keys. I mean, it's not a big kit, but they're, these look like pretty high-end Allen keys. I forget the name of the manufacturer of these, the ones with the different color, but they're silver at the end and they're flat on the L end, and at the long end they're ball end. There's a specific manufacturer. These are pretty sought after, actually, if they're the actual brand, but they don't feel cheap by any means. I mean, I don't know how many things they could throw in for, you know, the price that they sell it for. Heat bed leveling, okay, start. Remove PEI glass plate. Okay. Well, I guess that's what it is, PEI on one side. Wow, those things really hold it down, damn. Those clips are very effective. All right. Next. Okay, heat nozzles and bed. Okay, next. I was heating them already. Yeah, I feel like getting warm already. For the subsequent cleaning, nozzle cleaning and calibration, the machine is heating the nozzles in the bed. Okay. I'm eager to see, well, oh, wait a minute. So they do move. I mean, they must hit something and that moves them? Or, oh no, those are just on the end. Those are just on the end for when they go back to their side. So like when one of them goes off to the side. But you notice how much room is on the sides? That's because, you know, when one of them goes off to the side, the other one can print, and vice versa. But I don't know, it's pretty impressive to me. It's pretty impressive to me. And they've got to have two, so that's 2X and, well, one Y, they can share a Y, they got 2X and 1 Z. So I guess it's only one more stepper motor, but the belt configuration gets a lot more complicated. I've been intrigued by the IDEX setup, and there's small chains on the just, you know, like half a, I want to not half a chain, but like 10 links on each side or 8 links on each side, just holding the PTFE tube in place. And then the ribbon cables are, I mean, they're probably at the connection a little fragile, but the ribbon cables look extremely durable with that metallic that I was mentioning before. But all the panels, like the bottom panel, the front, the whole outside, it's all aluminum. So it doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't feel like the QIDI, and I hate to be critical of them because they've been great, but it just okay, you want me to clean it with a brush? I haven't even used it yet. Oh well, there is a little bit of stuff coming out, isn't there? She did say that they were M6 hot ends. Oh, and then I figured that's probably a way that they wipe off the nozzle too on those rubber pads, which makes sense. I'm doing on my high temperature printer. It's not going to have any PCB in the tool head. It's not going to have any PCB anywhere inside the printer. It's only going to be in the bottom. So that's one definite benefit. I feel it's just a lot of wire, a lot of long wires. It's a lot of wiring, but honestly, I think it's the best way to go, especially when you're going to have those kind of temperatures in the chamber and at the bed and everywhere else. It's much better to just do it right and keep everything out of the chamber. And anything that is in the chamber, like the wiring, is you know, rated for that temperature, which I made sure it was. I got everything very high temperature and temperature shielded. Even though it is high temperature wiring and high temperature stepper motors, they're temperature shielded as well. So it's doing its bed leveling calibration, whatever it does to do that. All right, rotate the left temperature control of the left extruder is abnormal. Please contact our support. What the heck? All right, calibrate the left leveling wheel under the bed to move the orange bar to the midpoint. It is in the midpoint. Orange bar. I mean, that seems like it's calibrated to me. Oh, okay, it tells you when you're level. Wow, that's pretty cool. I think I screwed up the first one. I think it needs to go back there. I don't know if it did calibrate successfully. I didn't really. Alright, well, let's do the Z offset. Loosen screws. Alright, you know, I'm going to do this stuff tomorrow. But I'm sure it'll remember, and I'll pick up where I left off. I'll leave this on the table because I'm not doing anything else with it right now. I'm going home to get some rest. Oh well, I'll probably just leave that off because I'll have to take it back off anyway. And put this on. And I'm going to shut this thing and shut it down, and then when I'll be back and I will finish up and show you guys the rest of the calibration process and the setup, and then I'll show you this printer making something. I'm eager to see that myself. I have been interested in these IDEX printers, like I said a couple times, for some time now. So I'm eager to see it in action. The duplicate mode. I mean, it's not a very big bed. I don't remember what the exact measurements are, but it's like bamboo size going front to back, and then wider going left to right, obviously. But if you're only using one nozzle, you can use most of that. So you can get a little more out of it than the bamboos. Because these are just straight square, and you can't use the entire build plate. You can use pretty much most of it, but you can't use the entire build area. But it's obviously not as long, and it's about the same dimension the other way. Yeah, the bamboo is like maybe an inch deeper, but this one is like 3+ inches wider. So it's definitely bigger overall, but it's not for huge prints. That's one place the QIDI printer does definitely shine, is that the size that you can print is pretty impressive compared to most printers. All right, so I will finish off this video later on when I get back and when I get done working, when I get back, or maybe during the day if it's not too busy, I'll finish this and let you guys see the rest of the calibration process when you first get it, and let you see it print. So I'll be looking forward to that. But I'm even more looking forward to showing you the Create bot and what I turned it into. It's going to be the Chris bot when I'm done. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry it took me a little while. I was so exhausted and I've been so behind on pretty much everything else because I'm building out that Create bot, rebuilding it, and it's been really consuming me. But anyways, so back to the Snapmaker. So it's a nice printer. It's working pretty well. I'm not as impressed as I thought I was going to be with it. It's noisy, and it's making some noises I don't really like, and the printing is actually decent, but it's just not as good as a Bamboo. I mean, it's nice that it has 2 separate heads, but you can still do 2 materials versus 4. I mean, yeah, you don't have any waste, but it's like you empty out that little turd basket, and I mean, you can get PLA for 15 bucks a roll if you're doing stuff in PLA. I mean, if you know, those little turds are not gonna kill you. But this is that it has you do like 2 tests to you know, coordinate it or to calibrate it, and then you know you see which line is you know, less defined if any, and then it does this thing first with the 4 arrows, and it's kind of like a print in place, and they mostly are separate. These are separate. I could just break them off, like, you know, they're separate now. So it did print in place and separately, you know, pretty much separately. But this is the test that I usually do, which has the bridging and cylinders, and then the overhangs are going to be the last thing it does. And for speed, it's fairly quick. You know, it's not as quick as some of my other printers, but it is pretty quick. I did change just the heat blocks and the nozzles. I put the 3-hole nozzles on, and I'm not going to use a Diamondback on this printer. I have 2 in the. I have them that I can switch into the Bamboos, but I have 2 in the other printer that I'm building, the former Create bot. It's not a Create bot anymore. But this is, I mean, for an IDEX printer to be 1,200 bucks, it's definitely not a bad price. And if you don't mind the obscene amount of noise, then, you know, I mean, I don't really mind because it's noisy in my shop most of the time anyway. And, you know, I could have this going over here and be over there and not even really notice it much. But it is pretty loud. And the noises it makes don't really sound very good. I don't know. And also, I don't like that it has a PCB right there for the 2 ribbon cables. It has a PCB underneath the stepper motor on this side, on each side. So it has 2 more underneath the 2 stepper motors, another 2 in the 2 tool heads. You got 5 PCBs in the print chamber. I don't like that. At least Bamboo only has the 1, you know, in the tool head, and that's it. Everything else is out of the chamber. I don't like they have so much stuff in the chamber. I think it's a new printer, and they only had that like 3 printer that you have the laser and the small router. I wouldn't really call it a CNC. I mean, I guess it's a somewhat CNC, but it's not really a mill. It's a router maybe. But anyways, it's not as impressive as I was led to believe by the reviews I saw. So I'm giving you an honest one. And also, I had the unfortunate experience of talking to their customer service, because I had ordered 2 extra tool heads, and then I read the literature and it said that it came with 2 extra brass nozzles. I didn't care about the brass because I'm gonna change out the nozzles anyway. But they, so I emailed and I said, could you remove that? And then I ordered the fan too, because I didn't know that the J1S now comes with the fan in the back. So, and that noise is like it's like there's something wrong with the way that sounds. It just doesn't sound good. So I told her that I had read that, and that's why I was canceling this stuff. And she asked me if I was sure because I might need the black steel. And I'm like, no, honestly, I didn't even need to order them in black steel. I'm not going to use the nozzles that come with it. They're standard M6. I'm going to use a Diamondback or one of the other many nozzles that I have. And she was like, okay, and then she canceled that part and refunded it. But it doesn't come with even any extra nozzles, let alone any extra tool heads. And this is the first and only printer that I've ever bought. And if you guys have been watching my videos, I've bought quite a few. This is the only one that didn't come with any extra hot ends, tool heads. I had, even the Create Bot came with 4. I mean, the bamboos come with 2. The QIDI came with 2. And I mean, QIDI has sent me so many parts to fix and improve everything on that printer that I'm like blown away by their customer service, especially when I deal with a company like Snapmaker that is nothing like that. Like nothing like that. Absolutely nothing like that. Anyways, I was less than impressed with their customer service. I was a lot less than impressed. And frankly, I'm severely disappointed because I thought this was going to be a better experience, and you know, it's not a bad one. The printer works, you know, that's the main thing, obviously. But then I find out that there's a clogging issue that a lot of people are having, and literally the day this got delivered, I get an email that says they've updated their hot ends. There's new hot ends you can buy that have A, B, and C done to help with the clogging issue. I'm like, what clogging issue? What? I just bought this printer, and now you're sending me another email so I can spend another $150 on new hot ends because these things are going to clog. I mean, that like QIDI. I had a different problem. They sent me all those extra parts for all those other things that were potentially causing clogging with new hot ends, and you know, they really, honestly, I wish they had an IDEX printer. I would buy one from them. I would have bought it from them. No question about it. If they had a high temperature printer, like a really industrial one, after my experience with them, if they had the type of printers I was looking for, I would totally buy theirs. Because at least you know that they're going to back it up. You know, Bamboo doesn't even really back. They've been touch and go. I can't shit on them completely. They're not as good as QIDI. I thought they were better. The printers are more reliable. When you get them out of the box, they are definitely more reliable as they come. But if you know how to work on these things even mildly, you don't need to know a lot, because they'll send you all these videos. I mean, this is not like a promotional video for them, but I'm really taken back by how well they took care of me, and how well I've heard that they've taken care of other customers. They're the only 3D printer company that I've dealt with like that. I mean, in Tamsis, I had a complete. First of all, they sent me the wrong printer. Then I had a complete failure of the printer, that it wouldn't even print before I realized it was the wrong model. And because it's just another Funmat, it was just not the enhanced model that it was supposed to be. And when I go looking for the local area network connection, there isn't one. Oh, well, gee, I got the wrong freaking printer. Anyways, I had a complete failure. I had one print that was semi-successful out of 5 days worth of trying to print on that thing, and 3 of those days I was here until 4 and 4:30 in the morning working on it. And I even made a custom spider hot end to fit it, and I should have done a water cooling thing like I'm doing on this. That probably would have worked, but anyways, hindsight's 2020. I'm building this thing from scratch. I ripped everything out. I'm finishing up the electrical and the couple minor things I have left tonight, but I have 2 new extruders on it. I have you guys will see that in that video, but I wanted to wrap this one up. So I wanted you to see it printing. I wanted you to see what it's capable of. Let me bring you a little closer so you can see it actually printing up close. I'm going to bring you over here and tilt you down a little bit so you can see it actually going. And I know they come with orange socks on the original heat blocks, but those are not the original ones. Theirs are just like a here, I'll show it to you actually. So the heat block that comes on it is this. It's a brass standard, you know, it's like the cheesiest, you know, heat block you could find. And what I have in there is, and these are the socks they come with. So anyways, they fit on there pretty decent, but these are the same socks and heat blocks that you can get like 15 of for like $20 on Amazon. And this is the one that I have on there. I have it on both of them. These were from Big Tree Tech. I tried their liquid cooled extruders. It didn't work for my application, but I got a liquid cooled extruder from Mello that definitely is working. And I mean, I haven't started printing with it yet because I'm still building it, but I got it mounted perfectly. And it's liquid cooled right in the right spot where I don't think that thing's ever going to clog. And for a high temperature with peak, that's right where I needed the cooling. I've already got another aluminum cooling block right on the stepper motor, on each extruder, and on each stepper motor X, Y, and Z. Everything is liquid cooled, so I don't think it'll be clogging or overheating, and everything is insulated and protected. I really thoroughly am rebuilding that printer. So the bridging is pretty good, but I mean, like, why is there so much stringing? This isn't PETG, this is plain old PLA. I'm not sure what all that stringing is about. I don't think it's retracting enough. I'm sure I could mess with the settings and get a better result, but honestly, I think I should have, you know, spent the right money and got something a little more my speed. Like I was actually going to go with I was eyeing the Raise 3D E2. And that's a Inis printer as well, and it's a lot more expensive. It's like $3,500 to $4,000, something like that. So this was only $1,200, and you get what you pay for. I probably should have gone the other route in the first place, because I would rather just spend the money and not have to deal with the problems. You know, and the not as good of prints, and the quality issues, and the repairs from the cheap parts. And that's how they make a printer that inexpensive, is by making, I mean, Bamboo does it by, they actually have quality parts for the most part, and their sales are like crazy. I mean, they're just killing it in volume. So that's a company I really wish I invested in back when they were a Kickstarter. If I had known about them, I would have. But anyways, the Snapmaker is not Bamboo. I mean, it looks kind of like one, but it's definitely not like one. It's you know, it's a decent printer. If it's all you can afford, it's a decent printer. If it's all you can afford for an IDEX printer, and you want an IDEX printer, it's gonna print okay in PLA. I haven't tried anything else, but it's also not really very conditioned to do anything of temperature, because these doors are like cheesy plexiglass, really light plexiglass, and I mean, it's very cheap. And this is aluminum, so I believe it's aluminum. Yeah, it's thin aluminum, but it's It's the bamboo is definitely made better. The fit and finish on the bamboo is way better because theirs is like thicker aluminum and it's more solid feeling. It's real glass. There's a lot of things about it that make it more appealing and more structurally sound and more thermally, more thermal integrity. Because it's the real glass, the full aluminum enclosure, and you can see through the top. The cover for this is just, I'll show it to you. It's just a solid piece of aluminum. So you can't see anything in the top when you have it on. But, oh, you guys can't even see that. Hold on. There you go. But so anyways, I'm less than impressed. I mean, it's doing its thing. It is printing well, as far as I can tell. I don't know why it's stringing with PLA. That's kind of uncommon, but the yeah, I can see quite a few imperfections looking at it closely. What I'll do is before I end the video, I'll make one more clip where I'll take this out after it's done. I do love that they put a glass build plate in there and they have a good way to secure it. That is one definite benefit to this printer, because I wish that some of the other manufacturers would do the ceramic glass plates. And this has the it has like a PEI on one side. This is the pure glass side, but I like the ceramic glass. I think that materials really adhere to it when you use, and I really love that this stuff, the nanopolymer from Vision Miner. This stuff is amazing. It's the best adhesive I've used in 3D printing ever. So I have 3 of those big bottles. I got them at, I had reward points on Shop where I ordered stuff like this, and I used it on those. Every time I had another $50, I ordered another one. I got 3 of them so far. So it's definitely, I bought the first one and then I got the other 2 out of rewards, or mostly out of rewards. I paid like the shipping or whatever, but it's really good stuff if you guys are using the glue sticks and the hairspray. I have so many glue sticks and several bottles of hairspray, and I probably won't ever use them now because that stuff works. It's like a miracle. Even with PLA it works, but it's made for high temperature materials, so it works really well with that stuff. So yeah, anyways, I don't know what that sound is, but I guarantee you that's going to be something that's gonna break at some point. It's either something to do with those belts, or it's something to do with the motion system, and that's like one of the most important parts of a 3D printer is the motion system. So I mean, I could go and replace the motors, but I'm already rebuilding an entire printer. I don't need to get into repairing a brand new printer that is one of the ones that is supposed to work out of the box. And frankly, Snapmaker is not bamboo. They're not QIDI. They don't have the experience. Their software is very rudimentary. It's not bad, but the interface with the machine is not good at all. It's not even the QIDI with Clipper. That's awesome that it has Clipper on it already. That's another benefit to those printers. But this doesn't have any kind of seamlessness. The software is not here, let me show you. So I'm not trying to explain this and I'm explaining it wrong or something. Let's just show you better than I can tell you. So this is what the screen that you get when you send it to print. So you go from, if I go back, so this is the slicer software, but here, look at the library, and oh no, that's just like models. Hold on. There's print mode, materials. Look at their material list. It's so there's PLA white, PLA orange, breakaway support, ABS white, PETG white, TPU black, and PVA white, and that's it. Everything else you're gonna have to add your own because they don't even have any other filament profiles. That's all you're getting. and I mean, I can obviously make my own, and so can you guys, but I mean, it just shows that they're very green. They're like, they're not, they haven't been doing this long enough, and I should have waited for this printer to be out for a little longer, but I didn't think it that far through, honestly. I figured that, you know, I had just bought that really expensive high temperature printer, and then I ended up having to send it back, and I got the CreateBot, all the parts that I'm upgrading it with, that I'm rebuilding it with, as well as this printer, and I still saved money. But this printer was just a waste. I mean, just because that one didn't work out and I'm building it, I'm spending a lot of time too. So I didn't need to go and spend all the rest of the money on another piece of junk that I'm gonna have to fix. So I probably shouldn't have. If I wanted to buy an IDEX printer, I probably should have done it right and bought a good one. The Race 3D probably would have been a good option, but I've also seen a couple other ones. So when you go to send this, you have to hit export, and then it goes into that other tab of workspace, and then it looks like this. Like, I mean, it's showing all the stringing. I mean, I guess it anticipated its own stringing in PLA. But I mean, it's okay. The software's okay. I mean, it's a decent platform to be able to send stuff to the printer, but it's definitely not. I mean, I guess we're all spoiled with all the good software that's out there, but because this is not it. This is kind of it's rudimentary in comparison. So, you know, that's what you're going to get with this. Unfortunately, I think it's a decent printer for the price. It's a good printer. It's you know, but their support, I have a feeling from how customer service was, is not going to be really. Then again, I don't know. The support department could be different, but their customer service sucks. In plain English, their customer service really sucks, and honestly, that put a bad taste in my mouth. And I'm trying not to be critical of the company, but I'm being honest. You know, I'm not being critical of them. Just their customer service sucks. The printer, it doesn't suck by any means. I mean, it is a good printer. It's printing well. You know, I mean, that stringing is easy to get off. You just throw a heat gun on it for very, very short time in PLA, because it'll melt everything. But you just go right past it really quick, and it'll melt all those strings and not anything else if you go quick enough. But it is printing fairly well. I mean, there's definitely imperfections. You'll see when I get this finished and I go back to the video, and it'll be in just a little bit, but it'll be in seconds for you guys. But you'll see, I'll show you close up on the part, and you'll see like the circular parts in the back. Those have a big imperfection in the middle of them. I don't know why. And the letters actually came out pretty good. Let me see from the top of it. Yeah, those circles are really messed up. The bridges are not bad. The bridging is not bad at all. I mean, it is PLA with a pretty good cooling fan on it, so that's probably why, but nonetheless, the bridging is pretty darn good. The recessed spots are pretty good. Let's see how the overhang does. But we'll take a close look at it when it's finished. I'll be back shortly for that. All right? Thanks, guys. See you soon. Hey guys, I'm back. Okay, so I just have some stuff in my hand. I just made a couple of parts. These are standoffs for the CreateBot that I'm building into a super high temperature. This is to hold one of the heaters, and this is the Inkbird that I'm using for the heat power. But I wanted to finish up this video before I get back to that. I'm trying to get everything ready on that because I have somebody helping me with the Clipper stuff, with the programming, and I'm hoping to do that tomorrow. So anyways, I put another one over here so you could see in comparison. It's a pretty dramatic comparison. The one that's there, it's from the Bamboo, I think, or possibly the QIDI, but it's from one of those two for sure. But it's a very dramatic difference between them. So I don't know how well you can see, but I'm trying to get you as best I can, you know, close in on them. So just look how flawless that black one is. You know, that's from either the QIDI or the Bamboo. And let me back out a little bit. The blue one is not flawless. We'll just leave it at that. So as I suspected, that noise is probably doing something. I don't know if it's that noise or if it's just the printer is not as good. But I should have looked at the accuracy of this printer. I still haven't. I still don't know what it's, you know, what they claim that it is. You see, this stuff is so amazing. That's that adhesive. Like, it's stuck that good, but it pops off that easy, and this stuff wipes off with water, and it comes 100% clean. So, I mean, unfortunately, the comparison is rather dramatic. You know, in the comparison of them, you know, I mean, it's kind of not even there's not really much of a comparison, honestly. It's a pretty glaringly obvious, like, ridiculous win for whichever printer I used for the black one. So the bridges are pretty good, but they're not as good, so you can't really see them. It has that in the way. So let's see if you can. Yeah, you can see them on an angle a little bit. All this fur, I didn't even take that off until I started the video. And then look at these. These are perfect on this one. I mean, these are not bad, but they're not this good. So for the same money, it may, for even less money, I can get a printer that will print dramatically better. So that's obviously a telltale sign that this is not the best way to spend your money. If you want an IDEX printer, which I did, it doesn't seem to be a bad printer. The overhangs did not come out very good at all. Look at the underside of the overhangs. Let's see. Can you see all those lines hanging down? And on these, I know the black is a little harder to see, but I can tell you from here, it's not like that on the back of these. I mean, don't get me wrong, they didn't come out perfect in the front either at that degree. It's up to 75 degrees, 80 degrees. You see the front, as they go further up, they get a little more and more blurry. But this one is blurry at 15 degrees. I mean, it's illegible up there. Almost illegible. It's pretty close. So, yeah, and it wasn't holding together in the back. I'm sure some settings could make that stuff better. I mean, it's not like every print has to be coming out that much different. But I don't think it's ever going to print like those printers. I don't think that's going to be capable, and that's with a really good nozzle, a really good heat block. That's the only stuff I changed on it, but I put really good ones on it. So, I mean, maybe I should have tried it with a Diamondback, but honestly, those ones that go from 3 to 1 give it a lot more even heat, evenly distributed heat, because the filament's being split. So I don't think it's going to do any better. I don't think it's going to do any better with any other nozzle either. I mean, it may make a little bit of a difference, but it's not going to make a dramatic difference. If it's not retracting right, it's not retracting right. So anyways, that's it. And that can be changed. You can change that in the settings. So, I mean, if you guys want to mess around with it, I'm so far into other projects that I don't want to buy another printer I have to work on. So, you know, I've had to work on the QIDI printer, but it paid off. It really did, and I got a good relationship with a good company that I'm very fond of at this point. And the Bamboo printers are like incredibly seamless. They are. Their customer service I haven't had to really deal with much because the printers work perfectly. But the few times I have, they've been, you know, touch and go. Like sometimes it's easy to get them on the phone, and so, or I mean, on the email. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes they take a while to respond. But when they do respond, they resolve your issue, and you know, they send you whatever part, or they help you figure it out, or whatever it is. But it's just not the most prompt. But I haven't had a lot of dealings with them because those two printers have been by far, by an exorbitant amount, my most reliable printers, my go-to printers. I have them printing a mount for the beacon in this CreateBot right now out of PC, and those printers print PC very well, like very well. They print PC incredibly well, and it's a pretty high temperature material. I mean, it's considered an engineering level material. Even the PC carbon fiber, they print very well. The QIDI does print better with the nylon carbon fibers because of the temperature. But I'm honestly, at this point, I can add a heater to those. I mean, I've learned a lot about these things. I could definitely add a heater to them. Maybe I will, because that's what the X1E is. Instead of the X1 carbon, the X1 engineering, the X1E has a heated chamber and a 320 Celsius hot end, which is 20 degrees Celsius is not a big jump, obviously, when you got nozzles out there at 500. But you know, and for $2,500, it's cheap for high temperature printers. It's definitely bamboo price in that market. But as far as 320 degree printers, it's not really a high temperature printer. You can't, there's not much else you could do with that printer you can't do with the X1 carbon. Especially if you throw a heater in there, you can probably do more with this because you can make it hotter than they'll make it. So I mean, you won't be able to control the temperature with their firmware. I don't believe that anybody's going to be hacking into Bamboo's firmware or being able to modify that. I mean, maybe people do, but I wouldn't want to deal with it. I mean, the Clipper's complicated enough. I don't want to be getting into other people's stuff that you can't find any resources on because you're not supposed to be doing it. So, you know, I wouldn't want to deal with that. But anyways, the printer, the Snapmaker, I'm not thrilled with. It doesn't mean I'm not downing it. I'm not telling you guys not to be thrilled about it. I'm just telling you, I'm showing you real results that I literally just showed you that I got, and I'm telling you the experience I had so far, and it wasn't great as far as I'm concerned, but it could have been worse. It could have most certainly been worse. The printer could have been worse. The company could have been worse. No question about it. It could have been way worse. They could have not answered. They were very responsive. I'll give them that. The woman Jasmine that emailed me back, she was pretty quick to respond. So I give her that for sure. Give credit where it's due. But she was quick to respond with responses that I didn't really want to hear. So make of that what you will. But anyways, there goes the Bamboo working seamlessly as it always has since day one. And I have an extra extruder for each one, and I have 3 extra hot ends for each one. And I only end up changing the ceramic and the thermistor once in a blue moon. I haven't used either one of the extra extruders for either one. I haven't used, I switch the hot ends once in a while because, like with TPU, I go back to the original Bamboo hot end because the ones that I got, the aftermarket ones, they work outstanding. And with the Diamondback tip or with one of those 3-hole to 1, they work amazing with the Bamboo printers. But they really did make a good design on their own. So the Bamboo one really does still work. When those don't work with a particular material, the Bamboo one will. It's amazing how well they did on that printer. But the printers that like this CreateBot, it's just a different level, you know, with everything being steel and linear rails and two linear rods and four linear rods and two linear lead screws, excuse me. For the Z-axis alone has 4 linear rods and 2 lead screws, and then the X and Y have 2 on the Y and then 1 on the X, and it's just a really well built industrial printer, and it just needed everything updated. So that's it needed a lot of work, but when I'm done, it's like a custom Voron. It's gonna be a badass printer. I'm looking forward to seeing it. It's gonna be printing any day. By the end of the week, it should be printing. So I'm very eager to show you guys that. So there'll be another handful of video clips put together as another segment of my journey with that. All right. So you guys have a great day, and hopefully I helped somebody out from either finding the IDEX printer that they were looking for or avoiding the one that they weren't. So hopefully I did one or the other. Thanks, guys.